So guys, welcome back to the channel. And this is going to be a rant, call it a conspiracy theory if you want to. But for the people out there, just listen. Now, the video that you're seeing in the background, if you choose to look at it, is a lot of AI generated photos. My wife made them. She loves Deadpool. She likes Joker, different things like that. And it's amazing how far the technology went. But at the same time, they've already monetized this technology. If you're a Motorola user and you know what I'm talking about, or you use ChatGPT, they give you a limited amount of times of whatever photos or commands that you can use. Then they want you to go into the system and pay them more money, as if it wasn't enough that you bought the phone, as if it wasn't enough that you're paying for a monthly service for the phone. If it's not enough that you don't, yet you have insurance, and then you want to do a Google backup or Apple backup and all these different things, and now all of a sudden that costs even more money. They're going to monetize you until you die. That's the goal, to never own anything and always be monetized. So the crux of today's topic, and I just want to show the photos how cool it could be versus what they're currently doing. And there's actually limitations to what you can type up because that also is licensed and monetized. So anyway, do you remember the pandemic where they decided to shut down the country, shut down churches, shut down schools, shut down food pantries, shut down daycare? They shut down everything. Now, the government officials were able to go free and go on vacation into all the spots that they wanted to. Just keep in mind that for some reason, there's always someone above the laws that they commit. I remember when the government shutdown happened and I was still going to work. Luckily, my building was still open and I was receiving money. And I was there every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends, and there was not a soul there, not a person walking in. I could just go to the back and go to sleep for 8 hours if I wanted to. I was actually playing the game and I started my YouTube channel, my original YouTube channel, the Ian West Network there, right? And I'm so thankful that I was able to find a way to monetize things because people were watching content online all the time. And I was just posting and posting and posting. So it did work out for me. There was something positive that came outside of this. A business was born in sorts. But when you really break down and think about it, these people have found a way. Correction. Let me take a step back before we do that. I believe that the pandemic was a test to see how Americans and in the world in general would react to if the government decided to shut down things. Because remember, if you're a Christian, right, you obviously already believe that the end of days is coming. It may not be in your lifetime. I don't know the time, and I'm not concerned about the time. You just got to be concerned about where you stand with the Lord, with Jesus. That's all that matters. He already, was on the cross for you. So he earned the right for you to have eternal life with him. And we're going to always sin, but we should always come back to Christ. That's number one. So if you feel like you're too dirty, you're too clean, get over yourself. Just come to him, read the Bible, read Psalms, read Proverbs. That's what I started with. And that's got my conviction deeper because it shows you the human nature of people, how to live, how not to live, and things like that. Don't believe me? Don't believe me. I actually read the NLT version. Even though I want to convince people, I'm not going to beg you to save yourself. That's your you problem. Now, with that being said, the pandemic, and I remember saying this, where they just gave out a certain amount of money. They convinced people that if you aren't locked down, you should be forced to be locked down. The reason why dictatorships can exist is because people are so easily influenced that they actually thought that by locking down a country and allowing people to do nothing. Let's put this in perspective. There's a deadly virus going around. They told you that a bat, bit a guy in his butt, and then he flew away across seas, which a bat is not flying across the ocean to get over to other countries. Like the fact that people thought that that was a real thing amazes me at the level of education that we have in this country. And I'm not some super smart guy, but I'm just saying to myself, if this happens in China, you believe that a bat was experimented on and he escaped on his own. He got through all the doors. He scanned the key cards. This bat is Solid Snake. Metal Gear Solid Bat Edition. He choked some people out, used sonar and made people confused like Pokemon. It was super effective and just got out and just happened to make it. Come on, bro. Like there's a level of just pure stupidity that we just have to stop believing everything that we're told. Now, obviously, later on, you found out that allegedly Fauci was the person that yearned for a pandemic through his emails, and they changed what quarantine mean and what a vaccine does in real time. They committed so much fraud in our faces in real time. And most people aren't privy to this because they're busy scrolling Instagram looking at big booty girls with surgeries. That's why they don't know anything. We purposely choose to be ignorant to the things that are in front of our face. The stuff that we should know, the stuff that we should be working on our personal relationships with our families, working on generational curses with our children, trying to consume less, trying to eat less junk food, be healthier in general, praise God. All of those things don't seem to matter because our momentary happiness is more important. And you don't have to believe me. You can just look at the conditions of the world and how it is right now, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I fell victim to it too. I'm no better than anybody else. I'm not acting like I'm holier than thou, and I will admit that I'm not. It's not a hard thing to admit. It's not prideful at all. Truth is truth. So, as all these horrible things are happening, in the meantime, they're telling you, you know what? This guy is the reason for this happening, even though we're the people that did it. Oh my gosh, this country is overrun, and all this money is going to the illegals. It's his fault that it's happening, but you did it. If I go to work, right, and my job is, I'm security, to walk around and check the doors, and then a report comes in that the homeless got inside the building and they tore this up and all this, they're going to ask, well, hey, who was it that's doing the key hits? Who's the guy that's supposed to be securing the building? And I say to them, it's not my fault. It's the building's fault for having doors that are cheap. Did I do my job or not? Did I check the perimeters? Did I scan the tags? Can I prove that I was there doing the job? If the proof is that I'm not there, I'm not going to have a job anymore. But if I'm a CEO, or if I'm a higher up, or if I'm a supervisor, apparently, as long as I have friendships and I'm in the right gang, all that goes away. Nobody takes the blame for anything. They gave all your money away. They took your food stamps. They took your benefits. They took your jobs. They told you years and years and years ago that the reason why the minimum wage can't be raised is because businesses and small businesses are going to suffer. Let's fast forward to 2025. We're small business now. Any of the economists and people in the comments that used to tell us that we were wrong about wanting to have higher wages and having rights in healthcare, things to keep us alive so that we don't die, they told us that we were crazy for one of those things. They lobbied against seatbelts back in the day. They lost though, but the point is they didn't want to spend an extra $100 to put a seatbelt in, even though you'd be spending 5 to 7 years, depending on the car payment, to pay for a car off. It's not enough. That extra $100 was just the level of greed. I don't even know what to say right now because it's crazy as I'm saying it in real time, and all this stuff is true. At one point in human history, they had your children being pulled from schools and working in factories and coal mines and things like that to teach the poor children that this is what you're supposed to be doing. People had to advocate in court so that their children that they love and they care for won't have to be economic work slaves. That has happened in real life. Better yet, slavery is still going on in a lot of locations in this world. You want to talk about women's rights? Go to some other countries. They barely even have human rights. So the point is that human nature has always tested the time. And to be honest, when you allow people to have unlimited access to what they want, they're always going to choose evil as an overall. And that is why it's very important for people to come closer to Christ. I know y'all don't want to hear it, but again, I don't care. Because someone's going to hear this message and say, every time when I went to Christ, right? And I just put away the world issues that I'm talking about, I feel disgusted talking about this. But at the same time, it doesn't burden my heart anymore because once this conversation is done, I'm going right back to reading the word. I'm going back to my desk to do my job. The ease of my heart, I don't hold on to this animosity anymore. I'm just disgusted with saying it because I have to say it and I really don't want to. But these conversations had to be had. They're uncomfortable. When you have a support system, it eases everything. That's why they took faith and religion out of schools, because they realized that if people have faith in God, even in Nazi Germany, I don't know if you heard the story. I really wish I remember the story, but they were in a cell block with fleas and stuff. And the only reason that the soldiers didn't stop their church because the cell block was infested with fleas. And that's how they're able to spread the word of God. You have to be in horrible circumstances. And the only thing that comforted people with their faith in God and religion and things that they believe in, that there's a better world outside of this one. And they're trying to take that comfort away from you. They don't even want you to have imagination anymore. As a matter of fact, they monetize imagination with AI. You can type certain things in, it'll say we can't do that because of licensing issues. I have the screenshot to prove it. I actually sent it to my wife and she was like, that's crazy. Everything is the government and people with greed and evil in their heart and envy, all those sins and stuff. They're the ones that are in control of this world. And they will pit you against your neighbor, against your brother, and make it seem like it's everyone else's fault, when plainly they're the ones that's doing this to you. That's the world that we live in. AI data centers are being built. You know how they're building them? By taking away the consumer products that companies have for you. So now RAM is $3,200 for a 64 pack for certain companies. And they said, well, Samsung didn't increase their prices. Samsung prices were trash to begin with. That's why nobody cares if they increase their prices, because no one was buying it to begin with. Now we have to as an alternative because they're the cheaper option. I'm good. I just won't partake in it. I just don't need it. I'll just find older computers and play ISO games. I don't need the newest stuff. I don't need the newest Adobe. I don't need the newest Creative Suite. I don't need the newest FL Studio. I'll just use the crack editions that I got, because you're making it to the point where nobody can afford to do anything anymore. Car payments cost more than rent. Rent is through the roof. Food prices are astronomical. But remember, guys, if you don't increase the minimum wage, well, you know how a corporation is going to make their trillions of dollars. How is this guy going to buy another boat if we don't keep wages low? We have to think about the billionaires and the trillionaires. We have to think about it. It's very easy to say business owners. Guess what? I'm a business owner because I run a YouTube channel and I work with other corporations and stuff and I review products. I don't take money from them, but it is advertising. I'm basically a free advertisement for them. I do honest reviews to my ability. Some people don't like my reviews. Some people don't like my reviews, and that's okay. That's your personal preference. I'm not going to attack you for not agreeing with me. I don't expect you to agree with me. But if I happen to review a product that you like, all I ask for is like the video and subscribe, and let's talk about it in the comment section. That's it. The level of greed, when people get to a certain level of greed, you can just see it over their face. You can see it in their conversation. You can see it in their mannerisms. You can see it in how they shy away from certain topics. We are a nation where they have put God at the lowest aspect of everything. By God, I'm talking about Jesus. I'm talking about Jesus. That's God. Everything else doesn't matter in this world. Yes, it's nice to have nice things. And guess what? I have nice things the Lord has provided for me. They don't want you to think that way. They want you to be desperate for everything. And they're going to starve you and tax you and destroy you as much as they can until you can't take it anymore. And then you're just on the street. But I said in another video that my wife asked me to pull down because I talked about addresses and stuff of where I worked. And she said that's not a good thing. So eventually this bubble is going to break. And by bubble, I mean that neighbor and brother and sister are going to fight. If they aren't doing it, it's already happening. They already put people against one another based on political views and way of thinking and advertising. But eventually, they're going to come for you guys behind those suits and ties. You see what happened with the Luigi situation where that CEO got shot in the street. That's not shocking to me. And the reasons why it's not shocking is because that man, and I'm not justifying death, so understand this, but his policies have killed millions of people and he never batted an eye about that. And when you are a murderer yourself, even if you're not the one that pulled the trigger, you're still a murderer. You were in those boardrooms. You were aware of everything that was happening, and you died. I don't know where his internal soul went, but what I will say is that it's going to happen to a lot more people, and it's going to be very unfortunate when it does, because I don't want to see mass murder happening. But when you have movies like The Purge, when you have these types of movies where, I forgot the movie with Jamie Foxx and the other guy where he was like a grieving father, and like the system basically screwed him over and let the criminal get away. They gave him a plea deal. It was a law-abiding citizen. I think that's what it's called. It's a phenomenal movie. They had to change the ending because, they didn't want the bad guy to win, even though the bad guys were the lawyers and the judges and everyone else in that movie. He was bad too, because a wrong and a wrong don't make it right. But at the same time, They know what they're doing. This is what's going to end up happening, people. You know that person that works for that corporation that's disgruntled because they can't go to a doctor's office appointment or see their child graduate because you want them to work overtime. And if they don't, you're going to jingle their job in front of their face when they're already doing 23 responsibilities. Your address is going to get leaked one day. And you're going to be in deep shit. Excuse my French, Laura. I'm only going to curse that once. I don't think I cursed more in this video. And you only have yourself to blame for that. Because when is enough enough? And I had to sit down and think about this for myself too. Right? Because all of us are the same way to a certain extent when it comes to greed and all that stuff. I had hundreds and hundreds of figurines in the background, and I still do have a lot of them, but I gave a lot away. I sold some. I started giving a lot of my clothes to the homeless, shoes. I got maybe 2 pairs of jeans. I really don't have any polo shirts, just undershirts and a couple of graphic tees and stuff. And I do have a nice amount of shoes. I gave away probably 80 or 90 pairs of shoes. I'm not exaggerating when I say that because I go to Ross and Burlington. I get deals on Uggs, $20, $15 here. Stuff adds up. But I started giving all this stuff away to family members and other people and donations and stuff because I'm just like, I have too much. When I came to the Lord, right, my heart softened. I was just like, I don't need all this stuff. Half the stuff still had tags on it because I wasn't even wearing no shoes. And I'm just like, why am I buying this? I'm not happier. I don't feel better. Yeah, it's nice to have, but I don't even go out. I don't even like going outside. I just rather go to work, go home, play the video game with my wife, fellowship, stuff like that, go online, make YouTube videos, do tech videos. I go outside for the tech videos to be in different landscapes and to test different situations. I don't even want to be outside because there's nothing out here. We've been priced out of everything. I started a business because it became so predatory that you can't live off of 40 hours of anymore. This is sick. And at some point, it has to stop. It's not sustainable. Anyway, Lord, help these people, man. Like I really pray that these evil warmongers find a sliver of goodness in their heart and realize that the things that they're doing is just destroying the people around them. Nobody wants to live like this. Nobody wants to live in their cars. Nobody wants to live in a trailer if they absolutely like they don't want to live somewhere and be forced to do it as a necessity. Apartments that are dilapidated and falling apart in bad neighborhoods should not cost more than mortgages in a 6-bedroom house with a pool. It just doesn't make any sense. None of these things are ever going to be regulated, and you need to stop wanting your government to do better because they never will, because they are in the grift. They are hand in hand with every single corporation. And like I said in the beginning of this video, where they shut down a country to see how you guys would react, look how you reacted. You're more concerned about boycotting Target. You're more concerned about boycotting Walmart. They got you thinking that gay rights are human rights. What are we talking about? Having sexual relations with another person. Now, obviously, I don't agree with the whole LGBTQ thing, but at the same time, because of morality reasons, but at the same time, you sleeping with somebody else is not the same as a person being sold for free labor. We got to stop acting like this is as big a deal as the people trying to make it seem. They sat here and people advocated for surgeries to destroy your physical bodies because you're unhappy with yourself, because you're miserable, because every time you turn on TV, every time you look at an ad, it's telling you that you're not good enough. You are good enough the way that you are physically. The Lord says you are. You were born this way. You still have relationships. Stop envying what other people have. I don't want to look like a Kardashian. Sure, there were times where I felt like I could be more handsome. But at the end of the day, this is what I am. This is who I am. Why am I dwelling on things that don't matter? If someone can't accept me for who I am because of how I look or what I'm trying to accomplish, then I just don't need that person in my life. It's not that hard to accept. Stop expecting people to give you what you want when you're not willing to work for what it is that you have in the first place. Look at what you have and understand how precious it is. Because it is. Your life is precious. So anyway, like and subscribe like always, guys. I'm going to leave this video like that. Like I said, I've come to terms with the fact that this world is wicked and it's evil, and this is what God was talking about. And I'm just talking about a glimpse of the surface. The atrocities, the murders, the killings, and all that stuff. We haven't even touched that surface, and I don't want to for my own sanity. But I'm just going to say that I'm thankful to the Lord that I wake up every day. And when I do these videos and I say this stuff out loud, it just reaffirms out loud, I'm sorry. It reaffirms exactly what I was thinking. It reaffirms my strength in him, and it makes me want to go read Psalms, which I'm going to do when I get back to my desk, because not much is happening at work right now. So when I have downtime, you know, I draw, I do art, I do things, and I don't care if AI or how I can monetize it. It just makes me feel better. I believe it's a gift. I'm going to share it with you guys, whether it's tech videos, unboxing, shorts, different things. And that's it. Whether you watch it or don't, it is what it is, but you're always welcome to the Ian West Network. It's a wonderful channel, in my opinion. My earlier videos aren't that great. I was very harsh, but I just wanted to leave it there so you can see the progression of what I've become versus what I was. And outside of that, I will see you guys in the next video.